Hi everyone. If you are tuning in right now, it is because you now have created a Google Classroom and you have students imported into Google Classroom, and now you're like, so what? So a couple of things here. If you click classwork, this is where you would create and assign your classes here. My advice would be if you click create to first divvy things up into different topics. So you may wish to call it by unit. So for example, with my IB students, my course is a 2-year course, so don't judge the number of units, but we are on unit 16 right now. This is vectors. So I can add units in, so I can create topics units. You may also want to have a topic that says classwork, but you can put that under the unit. You might want to add a topic that says general resources, right? So you can add as many topics as you want, and notice when you add topics, they're going to pop up here. Students won't be able to see any topics if there is nothing associated with that topic. So you have a few options here. You can, when you create and click material, you can say like lesson 1. And if you have a PowerPoint, you can attach your lesson PowerPoint here. So I'm going to see. It's obviously on my device. I'm going to click from my device. Let's go to downloads. I don't know. Let's see if I can find it under downloads. My bad. Right, and voila, this is a lesson that I wanted to upload. So I'm going to click open and then upload it. Now you have a couple of options here. This is for my demo class. I want all students to see it. You want to select the topic that you want it to go under. Otherwise, it's not going to fall under a topic, and then it might get a little bit unorganized here. So I'm selecting Unit 16 vectors. The other thing that I can do, I can post it immediately if it's ready to post and I want students to see it right now, or if it's a material, I can actually click this arrow. Let me do that again. Click this arrow right here, and I can schedule this. Like if I'm not supposed to be teaching students until March 31st, I can actually schedule this to come out maybe the day before or on March 31st at 7:30 a.m. because that's when school starts, right? And so then I can schedule that to pop up then. And you'll see a confirmation over here. It tells me that it is scheduled. Another thing that you can do here is that you can actually create an assignment. So I'm going to call this homework number 1. You can add your instructions here. If there is something that you want students to work off of, you can click add. You can attach a link. If you want them to reference a website, you can attach a file, a YouTube video that you want them to watch. And then over here on the right-hand side, the number of points that you want it to be, or if you don't want it to be graded, the due date, right? So you can select a due date. If I'm assigning on March 31st, let's say I want to give them a week. So I'm going to give them up until April 7th. You can select a time, otherwise it will automatically select it for you. And then as always, make sure that you have your topic selected. If you have a rubric, you can go ahead and add a rubric in there, and then you can assign. Here's the tricky part. If you have added something like a Google Drive something or another. So let's see if I can find something off of my Google Drive. If you, for example, if you want them to, let me find something. You want them to work off of a Google Doc, right? Let me search for my IB project. I want all my students to work off of this. If you want students to view the file only and not edit it, then you can schedule this just like we did with the previous one. However, if you change this because you want every single student to have a copy that they can edit, you can also still schedule this to be sent whenever it is that you want it to come out. So up to you what it is that you want to do. I'm going to say this is homework 1. If you have a Google Doc attached to it, you can attach it, and then you can assign it at that moment, or you can schedule it accordingly. So I'm going to schedule this to come out also on March 31st at 7:30 a.m., and I'm going to schedule that. And then again, you'll see it pop up under schedule. You can create a question that you want students to answer. And same thing, this could be used as like a pre-assessment for students. You can have students reply to each other. You can uncheck that. You can have students edit their answer, or you can uncheck that, meaning that students cannot reply to each other and students cannot edit their answer unless I select it. The other thing that you can do is you can assign a quiz. This, however, would have you using Google Forms, and so we can talk about Google Forms some other time, but if you are assigning a quiz, since this is a Google product, it is assuming that you're using a Google form for part of your quiz. So I think we've gone through every single one of these. If you've already posted an assignment from a previous class, you can, let me word that differently. If you have a Google Classroom, a separate one, and you want to post the same assignment or post the same material from a previous class, you can click this reuse post. When you select that, it allows you to open up all the different classes that you have, and then pick something from there. So I have several archive classes. I'm going to choose a not an archive class. So let's say I want to redo a post. I'm going to select this post right here, day 2, and I'm going to click reuse. And it will pre-populate stuff from that post for me. It will already assign it to a topic, and then I can click post. And it should pop up there as well. Students, when they automatically log in, will see the stream. So it's important that you tag things for students so that they can find it. Otherwise, they're going to see a bunch of stuff here in the stream. You can also directly post into the stream if you wanted to. Post something there. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how you can use Google Classroom a little bit further. And I know that when we do breakouts, we will talk about some other things that we can post on Google Classroom. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.